Hello, good evening, everybody. I've been really excited all weekend to jump on this Facebook Live. I actually just got back from San Francisco today. I spent the last 5 days out there, so that was really nice, and it gave me a good opportunity to do some research and pull some things together. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. So I'll just give everybody a second to jump on here, and if you can see me and hear me okay, just give me a thumbs up or let me know in the comments, and we'll get rolling here in a second. So if you can hear me okay, let me know. It's been had a couple of days of not a lot of sleep, red eye last night and everything. So I am going to stay focused. I have lots and lots of notes for things that I want to share with you guys. But the whole purpose of this tonight is just helping you understand how to utilize the free resource that is Facebook to grow your business. I actually have a Facebook Live I'm doing Wednesday with a friend of mine. His name's Elijah Bowie, and he is an expert in Facebook ads to grow your business. So we're going to do an interview. So we'll be talking about that on Wednesday, but as kind of a general rule, I'm also a huge proponent of free Facebook strategies and things that you can do. So let's just dive right into it. So if we're talking about growing a business using Facebook, I kind of see it as having 4 goals, right? So the first is utilizing Facebook for visibility for both current members and of your gym or current clients or something like that, but also to reach new audiences. So this is probably the best platform in the world for connecting people. So you can connect with the people that you're working with already and then hopefully reach new audiences as well. The second rule for me with Facebook for growing a business is to attract more of my ideal clients. And so depending on what your business is, that might look different for different people. So I know I talk to a lot of people who own gyms and who work with a weight loss market or a pain management market or something like that. And so they are able to use Facebook to attract their ideal clients. The third thing is to build trust and relationships. And you are doing that through adding valuable content, which I'm going to share a lot more later. So trust and relationships are huge. And then the fourth goal that I would have for you, and hopefully you have for yourself using Facebook to grow your business, is contact capture. And there are various ways to do that as well. I'm not going to go too far into that here, but if you've heard the term lead magnet, or if simply you're getting somebody to message you in your Facebook Messenger, that's a contact capture as well, as long as you can follow up. So 4 goals about using Facebook to grow your business. My advice to you, because I've seen it work for myself, I tested it. When I had my gym years ago, having a business page was really effective. Now, unless you already have a really huge following on your business page, it's kind of one of those things that is really more of a source of Facebook ads, and it's a place that people may visit at some point, but it's not huge for organic reach. So I'm a huge fan, I'll tell you why, of using your personal profile to grow your business for several reasons. And I know some people watching are going to think that absolutely no way, I'm never going to do that, I'm not comfortable with that, but I want you just to hear me out. So this is huge. This is the way I've been able to grow the last couple of businesses that I've started. By using my personal profile, right? I'm not relying on pages. And the reasons, number one, organic reach is just tremendously better. And you tend to have more engagement with friends, even if they're people that you don't actually know in person. You can also use privacy settings. So not all of your posts have to be public, but I would encourage you, if you have a business and you want to use Facebook to grow your business, I would encourage you to really treat your personal profile like a business platform. Again, it's not what a lot of people want to hear. It wasn't what I was personally comfortable with at first, but when I saw the results of that, I'm really really, really a believer and really bought into that now. So that's huge. But you can use your privacy settings. So if you have kids or something and you don't want those as public pictures, that's okay. You can just change the privacy settings and make certain posts, business-related posts, public and keep other posts private. However, you guys all know, maybe if you've been watching me at all, that I'm a huge fan of authenticity, of vulnerability, of transparency and connection. I think those things are huge for growing our businesses. So I tend to kind of keep my whole profile open for those reasons. I did not used to. And also, let's see, oh my gosh, there's so much in my notes here. So I would say also make sure you're using all of the Facebook features. I've talked about this before. So like when you go to post an update, using the high contrast background to text versus just a post. They like when you complete your profile. They like when you use Facebook Live. So Facebook favors people who utilize the features and services that they offer. So just keep that in mind. And you can also use a little technique would be like a call to action. If you're, posting a photo, you can have a call to action, visit here for more information or visit here to download or something like that. So always have something in the description of photos if they are business related, and hopefully they are. And just keep in mind that if you're uncomfortable with using your personal page to grow your business, that it is a pay-to-play space in terms of your page. So just keep that in mind. If you want much going on from your business page, you're going to have to pay through it or pay for it through ads, which is again what we'll be talking about on Wednesday. So tune in. Okay, I've talked about Facebook Live a lot. So doing it once or twice a week is really effective. I've actually been doing, you'll see different interviews, some about cryptocurrency, some about kind of fitness business marketing. And it's great because it gets a wider reach that way. And you're going to get more viewers that way. And you're going to be able to get your message out and help more people that way, which is awesome. So plan on Facebook Live maybe once or twice a week. And if it really scares you and intimidates you, it's okay. It scared and intimidated me at first too, but now I'm super comfortable. You can see I have like no makeup on. I have had maybe 8 hours of sleep in 2 or 3 days. And here I am, excited to share info with you. So just be yourself. This is about, like I said, being vulnerable, being transparent, sharing people's stories, or it could be your story. So if you're if you own a gym and you lost a lot of weight, share that story. If there's a client who, came in with tremendous back pain and now it's gone, share that story. Facebook Live is a great platform for those things, and really just sharing information in general to help your target market. So I work with, in my business Authentic Conversion, I work with gym owners, helping them grow through really powerful relationship building content. So that's kind of who I'm talking to right now, but I know that this information is going to help other people in the cryptocurrency world, people in the world of network marketing or whatever. I know this video is going to make a difference for anyone who watches and applies it. But we all kind of keep our target market in mind. You can make sure also, I know I'm not doing it now just because I have so much information, I don't want to hold this up. But if you can ask questions throughout and get engagement, that is super helpful just in boosting your viewership as well. So actually, let's stop for a second. I saw a couple comments come through, but I would love to, as I'm moving through the next section of my notes here, any biggest takeaways or insights that you may have had so far. So give you a second to do that. So you can always, you can ask questions, you can prompt people, but I tend to give a lot of information. I don't want to be on here very long. So I know that's something that I personally need to work on, but I always make sure that I do go back and answer questions. Usually I get some messages in Messenger after this as well. And speaking of Messenger, don't be afraid to take conversations kind of offline or more private in Messenger, because one of the cool things is if you have an email list, right? your average open rate, I think for most people, is like around 20% for a medium-sized list, less for bigger lists and more for smaller lists. But about 90% of people who use Facebook Messenger open their messages. So that is a tremendous way to increase engagement as well. So, okay, I'm going to move on here just because there's a lot. So there are just some other things that you should be aware of. So number one is that links. So just copying and pasting a link, or like a link with one line of text or something like that, isn't super effective. Links are not favorable to the algorithm. So you want to use descriptions in the links, or you can do a description with a photo and a link in the comments, something like that. And so with my content, Authentic Conversion, one of the things that I encourage people to do is to put the content on their blog and then share it to social media. However, just from kind of what I've seen, from people posting, what I've learned about the algorithms, I'm actually going to be paring down the content for my subscribers. So they're going to get the email and the blog version of the content, and then they're going to get the social version of the content, so that they are driving people effectively to links, but without just copying and pasting a link. Awesome. Let me see. There's a question here. Zeno, tend to post through my business profile and simply share it on my personal. Yeah, I actually tend to post on my personal and then share it to my business page. I've seen it really increase engagement, and I'll talk more specifically around that in terms of Facebook Lives. People who do their lives from their business profile and then share to their personal profile get a lot less views than when it's done the other way around. So I kind of think of it as my core is my personal page, and I'm sharing this live publicly, obviously. And then anything that gets seen from my business page is just kind of icing on the cake. And it's also one of those things that, I want content on the business page for people who visit it. I don't want to just be vacant. So it's a really good way for me to kind of get the most bang for my buck with that, if that makes sense. So I always post personal and then share to business. Again, because the organic reach, if you're not paying to play, is just very, very low. So hopefully that helps. Okay. Let's see. So we talked already about authenticity, about telling stories. Many of us, it depends on your profession, right? But many of us are trying to build a personal brand. And even though, my business is called Authentic Conversion, it's not Nicole Spencer Content, right? It's still me. It's still my brand. It's not something I ever plan to outsource or hire someone else to do. Like, this is my brand. So is Asheville Crypto Consulting. It has a different name, but this is me. This is the brand that I represent. So I'm going to do everything possible to really build myself as the brand. And again, that comes across with that authenticity, the storytelling, and just really showing up regularly in general, to be honest, and helping the people in your target market really solve any pain points or problems that they have. Another thing that you can do is engage in community groups. So I know, like, locally where I live, there's a ton of local groups. Then you can also think about, bigger picture. So if you want to work, if you want to do like boot camp with moms, right? What community groups could you join? And this isn't to go solicit clients. This is just to see what questions people have, see what people are asking, and just add value, comment in threads. There will be opportunities for promotion if you see a question about something and then you have a workshop coming up about that exact thing. You can post a link to it. You could do giveaways in those types of groups, but it's just about adding content and adding value to people. That's what I always try to keep in mind with everything I do. It is, how can I add value? How can I make something easier for someone? How can I explain something? Whatever that means to you. On the flip side of that, just the one thing that I want to note is potentially doing some paid content marketing. So we talked about in the beginning, the fourth goal for your business using Facebook is contact capture. So promoting a blog post or something like that that has a lead magnet where people can download it so that you can have their email and you can follow up with them later is a very effective thing to do. So just putting a small budget for marketing that is something you can keep in mind. I know these are on my paper, it just says random tips. So that's what this part is here. And also, just by the way, with the community groups, be sensitive to the page owners. So sometimes it's people's businesses, but there's so many people in those groups that you don't realize it's somebody's business. Sometimes it's just a community group like Moms of Asheville or something like that, but other times it is a business. So be sensitive to the page owner and don't be promotional if it's not just a community group, even if that opportunity does come up. Some other things to think about when you do post, whether it's photos or Facebook Lives or links or anything like that, use a compelling headline. We're not talking about clickbait necessarily, but we're talking about giving people a topic, a headline, something quick that they can read that they're going to want to engage in, that they're going to want to click on. It's just a good little tip there. Sharing non-promotional content. This is for me, this is one of the things I really try to emphasize when I talk to people in network marketing. If you sell products, whether it's supplements or skincare or makeup or clothes or whatever, you have to be focused on delivering value. You cannot be overly promotional. You're going to have to find a way to make that work for you because nobody wants to see offer after offer after offer after offer. And I'm pretty sure it's not working anyway. So rethink that if that's something that you're doing. And then the last kind of random tip that I have here is just try new things. See what your audience engages in. I know my audience is going to engage more with a Facebook Live or a photo with some things that are kind of vulnerable, transparent, again, storytelling, all of those things versus something that is, like a link I share. So play with it and know what your audience engages with and do more of that. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, there are really 4 determining factors in the algorithm that I haven't addressed before. I addressed some of them also in this video and then in others I've done as well if you want to look back. But 4 things to consider just around who sees your posts. Number 1 is that who is the person posting matters, right? So if you constantly post spammy content or promotional content, you're going to get buried in the feed, right? So Facebook knows, it's very smart to know if people are engaging in your content, if they're looking at your page, if you want updates from a specific person. Facebook knows. So be a person that your audience wants updates from. You do that by adding value. Second thing is, again, that Facebook pays attention to the behavior of individuals, and it shows you more of what you like. So as an individual, am I liking and commenting on photos? Am I more engaged in lives? What is it that my behavior is telling Facebook? And that comes with knowing your audience again. So if you think about what I said before in terms of, trying new things and testing and seeing what people engage in, the more you can do to put out posts that people engage in, the more it's going to be seen. Hopefully I'm explaining that well. The third thing, again, I've said this before, but overall engagement matters. So quality activity matters. Are you getting comments? Are you getting shares? Are you getting reactions? Those things really do matter in terms of how visible you are going to be in the news feed. And then last but not least, you want to think about 2 things. There is a factor of how recently you post that does matter. So there's some favorability for newer posts, but also, again, activity. So don't just think that I just post, I'm going to be in the top of the news feed. It's a combination of the 2 things because you'll see, sometimes somebody goes back and comments on a photo from a couple of years ago and then it's in the news feed again. That happens to me all the time. I see that kind of stuff all the time. So it is a combination of how recently things were posted, but also how much activity. Obviously, the more recently and the more activity you can get, the better that is. So just kind of to wrap things up, I'll take any questions if you have them. But to wrap things up, I want you to think about how what you post should absolutely be more valuable to your audience than anything else. It needs to be value driven, and that means different things to different people. Now, if you don't have a business that you're trying to grow through Facebook, then you can ignore everything that I just said if you even took the time to watch, because this isn't about personal profiles. This is about using a personal profile and a business page as well. Combination of those two things to grow your business using Facebook specifically, because I do still believe it is the best platform for growing businesses that are either in person or online as well. So talk about things that matter, be vulnerable, be transparent, don't spam people. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you look at your wall or your feed and you have more promotional posts than you do value posts, you're doing it wrong. And it's going to make people unfollow you. So it's kind of the last of my comments. And again, this information will work. Again, I talk mostly to fitness business owners or people looking to kind of expand in the cryptocurrency world and looking for help with that. But this will apply whether you're an insurance agent or a gym owner or a realtor or whatever. So if anybody has questions, I'll kind of hang tight for a couple of minutes, and then I think I probably need to go to bed. Red-eye flights never do anything good for me. So looks like I have a bunch of people on, and I will give you all just a minute. Let me just scroll through also and make sure that I got everyone. Hi, thanks Gregory. You're welcome, Carolyn. Okay, looks like no questions. This is a lot of information. I'll show you. This is page 1, and then this is page 2, and that's just an outline, and I was elaborating. I actually probably should have broken this up into 2 or 3 of these, but given that this is kind of the week that I'm talking about Facebook for business to my audience, I thought let's just throw it all out there. So you're welcome, Zeno. So, okay, anybody else? And if not, if you come up with something later, if you're watching this on the replay, just post comments. I will be more than happy to come back and answer. If you have things that you'd rather ask privately, of course, you can message me. And if this was helpful for you, feel free to share. And I'm gonna hit the bed, because like I said, I think I've had 8 hours of sleep in the last 2 days. And I will catch up with everybody in the next couple of days. And don't forget, Wednesday, 9 p.m., I have my friend Elijah on. And again, he is a Facebook ads expert. He has a really cool story about how he grew his gym very quickly using Facebook ads. He and I had a great conversation last week. We actually have pretty similar stories. So, all right. Well, everybody have a fantastic night. Wednesday at 9. Hope to see you there, and we'll catch up soon.